What's going on, everyone? This is Trevor here for RSG, and guess what we're going to take a look at today? We're going to take a look at the Corsair 500R, and if you want to find out a little more about this case right here, you know what you need to do? You need to stick around. So I decided I wanted to go with this, and I was like, hey man, this is a great case. Let's buy it. You know, it was a good price. I think I got it for like 80 bucks. And it's normally 140. All right. So, gonna give you a little bit of a hint here. When you're looking at cases, find out when they came out, because there were different designs, fads, styles, and things like that when they came out. This, unfortunately, looks like it came out about 4 years ago. So we had some different styles. Now, here is some stuff I want to talk about, and that is the mesh. Okay, there's mesh all over. You know what? I realized this was made during a time when the big window on the side wasn't a big deal. It was more about airflow. Airflow. And that's why this comes with it was still about lights too. Light up fans. Fans and airflow, they go together. But this has all white LED light up fans. Now this is a Corsair Carbide 500R, so part of the Carbide series, so it's on the higher end of stuff. Now, here we have the mesh on the side, and it has the big 200 millimeter fan that it comes with, lights up bright white, okay? But you can also mount it as two 120s or two 140s, and they all have rubber grommets, so this way you can actually have dampened sound. That's cool. Hey, yeah. But you know what? We're in a time now, internals are supposed to look good and all that kind of stuff, and the mesh is kind of out. So that's why I say kind of take a look at when cases were designed. I didn't even realize it had all this mesh. But we'll get into some issues I have with that shortly after. So a lot of this stuff is pop and click off. Now, it's the push tab, so I pushed it down and it clicks up, and you can take this off. So now, on the top here, we got a fan, or we got a dust filter. You know, it seems like they seem kind of crappy, and that's one of the things I'll say. Not too impressed with the dust filters on this case. So just put this back on. You just kind of slip it there, and we'll show you with that off later again. And you click it in. Now here's something, I don't know how many of you are used to it. You know the ones where you click in, I'll show you the tabs later, but where it's got two tabs on top, you push down, clicks in, you push it again, it clicks out. How many of them have you broken in your lifetime? How many of them broke on you just after normal use in your lifetime? And I'm pretty sure it's quite a few of them. Now, I see bigger holes here for 140 millimeter, but it's still, you know, cutting me out this little hole. I don't know if I like that. Really don't know if I like that. So I don't know what was up with that. And of course you've got your, you got 4, 5 1/4 bays, which we'll throw this back on. We'll explain to you. But before I do that, we have dust filters on every one. Okay, these are the foam dust filters. I don't really like foam dust filters. They will get nasty quick and they're hard to usually take out, remove, and then put back. So, not really a fan of that. And I'll even show you one of those up close as we get into this. And then also we have another dust filter up in the front. It's flimsy and crap. Now, I'm going to explain to you, this case is normally $140, and still to this day, if it's not on sale, it's $140, okay? So now, we're going to put this back on, all right? It's not really hard, but it's like any of the other style, just pop it on, that's it. You have a firewire port, which I don't even think you see them in any of them anymore. You have your power button, okay, with nice responsive click to it. I like that. Two USB 3.0s. You got your microphone and your headphone jack port in the front, which I don't typically use those because I have a nice motherboard. This is the case I got right before I decided to get a Master Case Pro 5, which I'm very happy with, and you can see that review also. It's a little longer than this is going to be. Hopefully I'm going to try to get this done as quick as possible, but giving you all the right information. This is going to be your LED fan light. Now let me tell you, that's a pain to kind of you have to really stick your finger in there to get the click going on, and you have a 3-position fan controller, lowest, medium, and high. Now, no off, of course. And then you have your reset button, which is also a nice little click to it. But the power button I do like. It's got a nice tactile click feel to it. Okay, now, the sides. We see these sides. Okay, I don't know how much you can tell they're bulged out, and I'll tell you why I don't like them right here. I'll show you up close. We have a little bit of a kink right here. just because I carried this one time and it touched my... This bulge idea is stupid. It's stupid. I don't like it. It looks horrible. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Yes, you know what? I'm crapping all over this case. There's other Corsair cases I love. I find a little bit of mix on the color here. It's always hard to match plastic and the metal. They did pretty good, but you could slightly see something. You could slightly see a little difference. They did pretty good on that. So I can't really knock them on that side. Another great thing that we'll show you, okay? And now I talked about the bulges on the side. I'm not a fan of those. What I am a fan of is thumb screws. Thumb screws are you know, big to me. I love thumb screws. These, on the other hand, are very, like, crappy feeling. Like, I don't know how to explain it. They don't feel smooth at all. Half the time I feel like I'm going to strip the damn hole, and I'm repositioning it constantly. So not really happy about that either. Owner's manual, and basically it tells you what it comes with for the most part, but it's really kind of basic. It does not really say what it has. I mean, I looked through this thing. It says, you know, how, you know, it says the normal things like, what is it, like you have how many places you have for 120 millimeter fans, which you have the 120, 140 millimeter that you could put up here. You have the 120, 140 that you could put in front. But, I mean, really, the hole only justifies 120 mil, so I don't understand why they would do that. And then, of course, you've got the 120s on the side, or the 140s, or the big-ass 200. So that's that, which, that's cool. I like having the 200. And the side fan is nice. The side fan is nice for the simple fact of cooling off your GPU and CPU. But let me tell you right now, here's my biggest problem. That is your biggest intake of air. It's a gigantic ass fan on the side. There's no filter at all. On the whole entire side, not a filter. Not a filter. What the hell? I know I just said that multiple times. That is so much air intake, and you're taking away my filter? You didn't give me one? This is an expensive case. Whatever. Yes, you could tell I loved this case. It's so why I kept it, right? Now, is it a bad case? No, it's got rigid construction. It's good. Things don't bend and stuff like that as much, except for the door panel, like I explained. I didn't like. It's because of the stupid bulges, but the quality of the metal is actually good. Now back here, another thing where we could put a 140. But I guess we'll open up maybe this much more. It's so restricted on air. Like, even if you put a 140 in there, okay, you're still only getting the size of a 120 area. So, whatever. They have their grommets in the back. Nice grommets if you're going to do water cooling. My thing is, how many people have external loops coming out of their unit? Please explain that. Put it down in the comments. How many people actually have external units to water cool that all these cases, not just this one, all these cases keep putting these damn grommets, okay? Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 expansion bays, so that's nice, which are all done by thumb screws. We will see that inside. And actually, there's something cool about them. I'll take one off and show you it. It's got like a little lip, kind of, so it grabs onto the side when you're trying to put it back. And of course, you have your big backplate area, and you have your spot for your power supply, which, guess what? Did not match up with all the holes. It only matched up with 2 holes on the power supply. It was very awkward. Never seen that before, but hell, it didn't move. It was no problem at all. Okay, and then it looks like from there on, the next step is to go inside. Okay, so we're going to look at these accessories. All right, now apparently I'm missing a cord. Apparently I am missing the 3.0 or the USB 3.0 to USB 2.0 adapter that I keep seeing in all the review videos I've watched. I kept all my stuff together and I didn't see it anywhere. Maybe somehow magically I did misplace it, but I don't know where, because for one, I didn't use it, so it should have just stayed with everything, and I just dropped this. I don't know if I never got it, whatnot. I don't know, Corsair. Maybe you took it out of there. I have no clue anymore. But what they did come with is, of course, your power supply screws, and then, of course, all your, you have your motherboard screws, which I think came in this one. But you have your extra standoffs, and I don't need to get up close. I'm just telling you what they got. We'll go up close with these. You know, these are some 3M. You got the 3M double-sided on the back, so you can have your wire routing with the little clips, and you have some zip ties. Hey, three zip ties there. Whew, you really splurged there, Corsair. Good thing you're charging people so much for their damn case, so you can, you know, you're able to give them 3 whole zip ties. Good job with that one. Don't know what your thought process was on there. Now, this is an older case. A lot may have changed with Corsair, and I'd like to know if they did. I don't have any Corsair cases to check out of anything new. I would like to really see if they changed some stuff. I was really in love with the C70 case they had. So even though some of the things were the same, this just is driving me nuts. And I love Corsair products. I've got Corsair PSU. I've got a Corsair SSD. I've got... What else do I have? I have a couple other things from Corsair. I just can't think of it right now. But, I mean, overall, I love Corsair. But this case is not making me love them. Of course, you got your extra long fan screw, you know, ones for like when you're doing radiators, if you have the front mounts, or if you're doing fans up top. So that's something that you've got. You've got all these. Basically, this is going to be your manual, and it's going to tell you everything you have. Now, something I did want to tell you about that I did not see. I did not see a tool. Maybe I missed it, but I did not see a tool, which drives me nuts. And maybe they've changed now, but to put the standoffs on. Now, granted, I didn't have to put standoffs in. There is a chance that I could have had to, because there's other holes for it, but I did not have to put standoffs in with this. So that is a plus, that it already, that's perfect. That's perfect. So, already it had the standoffs in the right position for me, but maybe not for other people. So let's open it up. We'll look inside. Now this is what I'm talking about. That wasn't smooth at all. Okay, but the nice thing is that you don't lose the screws. Now the Master Case Pro 5 did an awesome thing. See how that just dropped off? I love the Master Case Pro 5 idea, where they just have it like, and it just does that until you lift it off. Great idea, Cooler Master, but not so much on a lot of these other manufacturers, and even like some of the ones like Fractal Design. But you know, I can't really complain about them. You know, they're still done right, and they're still built good. So anyways, you have your big 200mm fan that I'm talking about here. Like I said, all the fans do light up white, and it is a strong. It's just, I mean, it's got this big giant mesh. It's sturdy. I mean, I could WWE someone. I would say WWF, but that's World Wildlife Fund now. But WWE, boom, and it would probably do a good damage, but it would dent it pretty good, because I'll come up and I'll show you that we've already got a nice crease. Let's see if we could see that. I don't know if I'll be able to capture that in the actual thing, but there's a crease right here where it dips down. I can even feel it. There's a crease right here, and that's because I carried the computer down so I could do my RSG OTC, because it's where I do it is down here. And yeah, it just, you know, the way I had to hold it, it just crinkled there, and it's very annoying. It wouldn't have happened if it was a flat side. Okay, so now we look in the side here. Got our USB 3.0, of course. We've got all of our fan headers that we look at, you know, our fan connectors that we need for this. Now this is to plug into the actual fan control unit. There's I think a total of 3 of them, and now also you got your internal your fans. Or not your fans, your power, you know, power button, your restart button, your hard drive light, and all that. So that's all on there, just like anything normal. And of course, this is going to be your HD audio for the front panel, which I don't typically use. Now you're also going to have a dust filter on the bottom here. Nice one. Now my Cooler Master Case Pro 5 did not have a second fan intake down at the bottom, but this one luckily does, because there's no shroud. But I love the power supply shroud, so screw the intake, I'll take the shroud. Shroud looks better, in my opinion. Okay, tons of grommeting, tons of wire management holes. That's where I will say they did great with that. Tons of management holes for wire management. Love it on that sense. Now I'm going to undo the other side so I can get some stuff done. This is the other side. Like I said, no flex on that either. Now, you could really get someone with that in some WWE matchup, but that might be more dangerous than some of the stuff they do. Well, as I'll say in every single case review I do, unless it meets Fractal Design standards, These are crap. Look, it's freaking, it still shakes when I stop it. Look. It's crap, okay? It's flimsy as heck. It's so flimsy that it can't even stay in its damn thing. Like, look. Oh, look. Yeah, no, see, the whole point is it's supposed to pull these together and pull it out. The point is not for it to just pop out on its own, Corsair. Come on, man. Come on, really? 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 Everyone. It's, oh, we found one. We got a, oh, no, we didn't. Just had to move it left and right a little bit. So, yeah, no, happens on all of them. Every single one. Look, that one even flexed to the point where it dropped a space. Look at that. Look, all of them, okay? If you don't get the idea now that these really, you need to make these metal, for the price you're charging for some of the stuff. I don't care if my case is made by, Cock-a-doodle-doo company. I really don't care if it's built right and it's built well. This, on the other hand, has some real flaws, but granted it's older, and I'd love to try out a new Corsair case and see if anything changed. Now these, the 5 1/4 inch dry bays, love the way they did this. You basically slip it in, these things just hold the stuff right in place. Good idea, love it. They're high, that's the high quality I'm looking for. Now I'd have to put the things back. I don't know where I put the actual drive tray screws, but I know I put the ones in the back because there is something odd about these. With my other stuff, they only have one side with screws like with my other cases, but not so much this one. Now, like I said, we have all this wire management space, and we have this big giant open space for the motherboard tray, or for the motherboard. Now, let's go on to the other side, and now we have some of the fans are already hooked up, like I said, to the fan control module in the front, and this is going to be to power your fan control module, which is going to be your regular Molex connector, and that Molex connector is a pass-through Molex connector, so you don't actually lose your Molex connector spot. Now, this is going to be other spot here. I want to say that's a USB, but no, that's the FireWire. I'm sorry, that's the FireWire. So that's going to be your FireWire, which no one uses anymore. Maybe people do. Maybe I'm crazy. The wire management, though, there's not a lot of space over here. There's not. There really is not. Like, my finger doesn't even fit back behind this. This is tiny. My pinky doesn't. It's tiny. If I had to, let's see, if I had to think of something, how big this space is, let's look at the Molex connector. Does it? Yeah, it is literally the size of this part of the Molex connector. That's it. There's not much space. The only reason why there's any space going on is because of this ridiculous bulge idea that they have. Should have put more space here. I don't know how you couldn't really have fit that in. This is a big case. It's not tiny. I've had a Thermaltake Commander. That's a tiny case, man. I couldn't even fit a radiator in that. Speaking of radiators, there we go. Let's talk about that real quick. You can fit like an H100 in there, maybe, but apparently, from what I understand, this wasn't really designed much for water cooling, even though it looks like it really is. It really looks like it is. To a degree, it is. I mean, this top space here, but you would only be able to put in one configuration. It couldn't be a push-pull configuration. It would have to take, fans underneath. So it's not really meant as much as you would think for water cooling. For as big of a case as it is, it really has a lot of issues fitting water cooling in there because of the VRAM and all that stuff, or the VRM. I don't know why I can't think of it. Basically, the clearance between the motherboard and the fans and all that would make it basically too hard to do. That kind of sucks. For such a big case, so much room, and to have so many issues when it comes to that. Now, the space does open up down here to bigger than my finger. So like the width of my thumb is what it opens up to back here along the bottom side. But where the motherboard tray is, it goes to that little thin side. So anyways, real quick, I just want to point out that the feet here, these are nice feet. I do enjoy them. I do like them, but they're not as high clearance as I'd like, but they are good solid feet. They're not going to be popping off all over the place. They did a real nice job with that. Now, something I want to show you, these are the screw holes for the motherboard tray, or for these for this drive tray here, which yeah, Holy crap. And there's even screws on the side here for these trays. So I'll tell you what, it's a lot of screws to hold in drive trays. I've never seen any other cases really need so many to do such. But overall, the case itself is pretty sturdy, but I don't think it's something I want nowadays. Oh, and one other thing I forgot to mention, we'll see that in the up close. The power supply unit area actually has soft rubber grommet not grommet, but soft rubber like lifters that the power supply will sit on to reduce any noise. So it did try to reduce noise when it comes to fans, but this is made in the time when fans and airflow were huge. So now what we need to do is we need to take this thing and look at it up close and personal. So stick around for that. So I really did not like the fan filters on this case, as you'll see with some of the dust on those fans and in the case, because it is just such cheap material and so cheap quality and leaves a lot of open spaces and really doesn't do it, as you will see coming up here. And also those metal pull tabs are something I haven't seen except for on my $50 Thermaltake Commander case, which is on those plastic dry bays and makes it very hard to actually bend them out of the way, take the foam out and dust them off, which eventually they will give out from being bent so much. Back to the case. Alright, finishing it up here, we have that little push tab right there that I told you tends to break a lot. We have a cable routing hole and two 120 or 140 millimeter fan mounts with a little routing area in the back so you can use water cooling if it doesn't interfere with the motherboard like we talked about earlier. But to finish this all up, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. If you liked the video, please hit a like, or you can hit the dislike, throw a comment down below, and share this out. But for all those that are going to keep watching my videos, I'll see you next time.